San Francisco has made another selection, and again, this is an interesting one. With what's going on with Aldon Smith, we don't know. Navarro Bowman, we don't know. They go linebacker Chris Borland out of Wisconsin.
I'll tell you what, I thought he should have been a late one, early to mid two. I know there were concerns about his shoulder, but I'll tell you what, I know he's under 6 feet. I know he has short arms, but you talk about intensity, you talk about instincts, production, behind the line of scrimmage, going around the line of scrimmage, down the field covering. This kid will light you up. He is a guy who really, I thought, production-wise and consistency-wise, there's not a defensive player in college football that's better than Chris Borland. The 49ers just keep picking football player after football player, and now you get a guy, an inside linebacker, can get the job done at a high level.
And one of the concerns with him is, can he hold up long-term with the shoulder injury that he had? But when you're the 49ers, you can take a chance, and maybe you don't need him to hold up long-term. The bottom line is he's a great football player because of his instincts and his toughness. And I maybe saw him in 6 or 7 tapes. I could probably count on one hand how many tackles he missed. And yes, he's got short arms, but it doesn't matter because he makes tackles and he gets off a block.
And sometimes we just do a drive-by because it's correct as football people say, hey, special teams is a third of the game. It's not a drive-by. It's real. You draft guys that can contribute on teams right away. So you're getting a very good football player at linebacker, a position of strength for the 49ers. You're a smidge away from going to the Super Bowl again. Maybe that smidge is becoming the best special teams unit in football. This is a guy, a plug-and-play special team superstar.
He's an absolute animal.
Look, plug-and-play special teams
to go cover kicks.
Forget it.
Bottom line, if you're Chris Borland, look who they drafted over the last few years. Aldon Smith, Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis. You got to feel pretty good about coming in. Now, he's a little small, 5'11 and a half, 248
so is
pounds.
Zach Thomas.
This is Borland had to say about that. 5'11 and a half, he said, is not a tiny person. I'm decent sized. You guys like the pick. What does Bill Polian think about the pick? Let's go upstairs. Bill, what do you think about Borland in San Francisco?
This is an okay pick in a 3-4, but athletically, he is not the guys you just talked about. He's lacking a little bit on the athletic side of it. And now in a 3-4 where he can just plug and play, that's kind of okay. 4-3, no fit at all because the speed and the lateral movement isn't what you want.
All right, Bill, thanks. Guys, what do you think about what Polian just said?
The 49ers run a 3-4 for one, and you don't have to be the most gifted athlete to be a banshee in special teams. So I respect Bill Polian as much as anybody in the business. From a talent evaluator, this is a great fit for the 49ers.
I said Zach Thomas because the first thing that jumped out to me, instincts, recognition skills that Zach Thomas had. I wasn't scouting when Zach Thomas was coming out of school, so I can't say specifically to that, but I watched him, I studied him in Miami, and I know that he was always the first guy to react, and he had great instincts in coverage and great instincts as a pass rusher, too, which was unique, and I think Borland has those same instincts.
I was with Zach Thomas at the Hula Bowl the year he came out, and he was energy when we were on a little cruise. It didn't matter what we were doing. He was all football. And you think about what he did at Texas Tech, the production, what Borland did. Now, this is the 3rd round. This isn't the late first, early second round. You're in the middle of the 3rd round, and you get a Chris Borland. You got to feel good about it.
I got to talk about Zach Thomas. He intercepted me a lot and sacked me a lot.
High motor, high character. According to Wisconsin, he spent well over 125 voluntary hours with elementary schools and hospitals, far more than any student athlete at the school. So you know what you're getting on the field and off the field with Chris Borland.